Morning, everyone. Just wanted to check in with you today. I told you yesterday that we touched on what identity was, and I said I was going to talk about that a little more. And so I wanted to just give you a couple of examples of the power of identity and what I mean by that, and how we can use that in the framework of this 30-day challenge to really understand and embody how powerful that is. So, for example, I asked you to consider your identity now and an identity that you want for yourself 30 days from now. It's very different, has a different feel than goal setting, because you can say, okay, well, I want to lose 10 pounds in 30 days, or whatever the goal is. It doesn't matter. Let's use that one as an example. I want to lose 10 pounds. And so you're the same person now that you are 30 days from now when you're 10 pounds lighter. The measurement of whether or not you met that goal is based on what happens on the scale. Obviously, right? Okay. But you're still the same person, and with the same belief systems, the same identity, meaning the same way that you feel about yourself, the same thing that you call yourself. And I don't know if you've ever really thought much about what it is that you call yourself, but you do it whether you know it or not. So, for example, and I'm not talking about the roles that you play. Sure, you're, a wife, a mother, an accountant, a teacher, whatever it is that you're doing. Those are roles, but by identity, I mean things like how you envision yourself, what you think about yourself, and also how others see you, but most importantly, how you see yourself. So when I started working with a client, I wanted to give you this as an example. At the time, he was pushing 400 pounds, felt very unhealthy, felt very uncomfortable, and had told me that he'd tried a million things to lose the weight over the years, had random bouts of success and then failures in his mind. And so he saw himself as unhealthy, and he would try these things, but his mindset was that he always stayed unhealthy. And then he started telling me about how when he was in college, he was an athlete. He was good at basketball, and he loved basketball. And so we'd worked together for a couple of weeks, but then when I clicked onto the idea that he really still connected with himself as an athlete, I said, you know what that mindset is. You know how to be an athlete. You're still an athlete. And so it clicked in his mind. He changed. He reconnected with what it felt like to be an athlete and the training that was involved in, basketball practice and that kind of thing. Even though he wasn't playing on a basketball team now, he still remembered, it was still part of his kind of ingrained in his body, his muscle memory and his mindset of what it felt like to be an athlete. So he started calling himself an athlete again and thinking of himself as an athlete. Even though he was almost 400 pounds and pretty sedentary and couldn't move, just the shift in mindset allowed him to start behaving as such. And that made all the difference in the world in terms of his ability to, exercise and eat right and do all the things that he needed to take care of himself. It had to start with the mindset. Another example is when I walked into High Performance Academy on day 2, and Brendan Burchard said, look around you. You are in a room of high-performing people. You are high performers. And I think that was the first time I'd ever really felt that. I'd read the books and I'd studied the material and, all that stuff. But when he called me that and said, you're a high performer and you're amongst high performers, you could feel the energy in the room. It just shifted. All of a sudden, everybody now identified themselves as a high performer. And the things that come along with that are so empowering, and I take that with me everywhere I go. So the identity work is for you, for this 30-day challenge, is to pay attention to how you see yourself now, and sometimes it's going to be in a negative light. I know for me, I'm working on my sugar addiction, so I'm calling myself a sugar addict. And I'm going to explain why in another video, but it has to do with 6 human needs. But so I am, in my mindset, I'm a sugar addict, and so breaking that pattern of, wanting to eat sugar has to start with me changing my identity to being not a sugar addict. So that is my goal for this particular 30-day challenge, that at the end of the 30 days, I will not feel like a sugar addict anymore. I won't call myself that. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps to give you a little bit more direction around what this 30-day challenge is about for you. I know that I originally opposed it as just a wellness challenge in general, just kind of accountability to eat right and exercise and have a buddy and all that stuff. But this is an extra layer that I think if you put some time and attention and focus on will really help to solidify some results for you, if compared to if you didn't have this. So I want you to think about what your mentality is, what your identity is currently going into the challenge on this end of it, and then what you want it to be when you end up. How do you see yourself? How do you want your mindset to be? What do you want to be calling yourself, or to have others see you as? So think about this guy being an athlete. Think about, me being a non-sugar addict, whatever it is that to help you as an example to figure that thing out for yourself. It doesn't have to be physically related. It can be, anything that you put into this challenge. It doesn't matter. The process itself is what I'm working on with you guys for this. You get to apply it to whatever part of your life you want. So hope that helps a little bit with clarity around the identity process. If you have any questions, you can always give me a call, and I'm happy to talk to you about it. And next video should be about the 6 human needs. I look forward to talking to you then. Thanks. Have a great day.